ripple marks in case of Terminalia alata. Even the peltocaine, the purple heart from South America, is often sold as Australian rosewood for its resemblance to Indian rosewood, that is for Dalbergia latifolia. You can see the color similarities in these two cases. And one more important commercial timber is timber is that sandalwood, Sandalum album. This is mostly mixed with Osiris species, or it is also called as Nepalese sandalwood, and Haldina cardifolia, that is Haldu, Adina cardifolia. Actually, even under the microscope, sandalwood and Osiris species is slightly it is difficult to differentiate between these two timbers if we see the cross section. Only when we see the tangential or the radius section only we can make out in the due to the presence of crystals in or the location, on the basis of location of the crystals we can differentiate the sandalwood and Osiris species. But under the hand lens, these two are not separable. Even the Haldina cardifolia is also showing the similar structure of it has got the similarity to sandalwood. And other timbers are Anogenesis latifolia, Michaelia champaca, and Erythroxylum monogynum. So all the others, these are also having the small pores. So these are also mixed invariably with the sandalwood and sold in the name of sandalwood. Maybe they will apply some scent on the wood and then they will be selling it. So this is how it looks in the cross section, Santalum album, and this is Anogenesis latifolia, and then Haldina. But all are having different characters. Different characters are there. As I have told that every timber has got its own fingerprints so each can be separated. Coming to red sanders, we can see red sanders, mostly it is mixed with padok and anjan, that is Hardwickia binata. So we will be mostly for testing purpose, we will be receiving in case of red sanders, we will be receiving samples. Cases are referred to us from the police department, Lokayukta, Department of Revenue Intelligence and all. They will be, whenever they are sending these red sanders, we have to test these samples also. So in many cases, this adulteration has happened. Like in case of red sanders, anjana has been sent in place of red sanders. Study the samples under the microscope, we can see the red sanders and padok and anjan, that is the Hardwickia binata. Though the color of especially the color of red sanders and anjan are almost similar, but in the gross level itself, we can differentiate these two samples using a hand lens. Whereas red sanders, padok, in case of red sanders, it is a very heavy timber, and padok is slightly on, the color is also on to the lighter side, that's brick orange color. But the density will be slightly lower than red sanders. But in case of red sanders and padok, both exhibits the storage structure. Whereas anjan will not have the storage structure. But easily we can identify using the water extract with fluorescence. So this water extract is with anjan, we will not get this type of fluorescence. Whereas in case of padok and this red sanders, we get the fluorescence with prolonged boiling. And one more this case is that various imported timbers which are available in different markets in India are not sold and with internationally accepted trade names as per the information provided by the country of its origin, but use a local dialect as a suffix. So far as teak is concerned, whose name is also known in timber trade throughout the world, not much confusion between the consumer and the seller. But in other cases, imported timbers sold in the local market as Australian honne, whose trade name is merbau. So the honne in Kannada language is one of the Indian timbers which is botanically known as Pterocarpus marsupium. But whenever this particular honne, it is sold as in the market, it will be sold as Australian honne. This is a merbau. So we can see the difference here. The first one is the Pterocarpus marsupium or the bijasal. The second photo is Insea species belongs to, this is called as trade name is merbau. Sometimes there is lot of similarities between these two timbers. Like they both are having the external appearance, similar external appearance, but their structure under the microscope is different. You can see the structure of this bijasal is slightly different from the structure of the merbau in the cross section also, and in the tangential section both can be easily distinguished by the character, the ripple marks. Like ripple marks is absent in case of Ensea species or the merbau species, and in case of Shoria also lot of mixing is happening. When it is generally nowadays we are importing sal from Malaysia, and it is known as Malaysian sal, but there lot of mixing is happening using the timbers as Keryung, Kapur, Kempas, and Mersava. So though all these species, most of these species are belongs to Dipterocarpaceae, differentiation can be done under the microscope. We can see here Sal, Keryung, Kapur, and Kempas. So in case of Sal or Balau group, tangentially like a continuous tangential line of resin canals, gum canals are there. And in case of Keryung, only the gum ducts are diffused. And in case of Kapur, again, continuous line of tangential band of gum ducts are there. Whereas in case of Kempas, there is no gum duct. Again, Gurjan is also mixed with sal and it has been sold. Nowadays, we are even receiving poon, that is Calophyllum species, in place of sal. We are getting lot of uh, poon sample instead of sal. People are telling that they have supplied sal, but we are getting, most of the time, we are getting only the poon samples, that is Calophyllum. Maybe because of their external appearance, the color, especially because of the color, poon is mixed with sal. And we know that sal is a specified timber for some particular uses. So the other timbers may not be suitable for that, particularly the structural application. Now coming to the softwoods, uh, again there are some confusions in the market, like fir and spruce. In case of fir, there is no resin canal. That means it is completely only tracheids. It's made up of tracheids, no resin canals. Wood is very soft and lighter in shade. Whereas in case of spruce, the presence of minute resin canals will help in distinguishing fir and spruce. Again, in case of cheer and kale, one is having the abrupt transition of early wood to late wood. In case of kale, there is a gradual transition in from early to late wood, even though both are having the resin canals. But for some purposes, kale is most preferred timber than cheer. And again, in case of cypress, that is cupressus and devdar, these are also again mixed in the market. And devdar is having a continuous resin canal in long tangential bands, and not much of parenchyma is seen in this case. Whereas in case of cypress, absence of resin canals and presence of scattered parenchyma. So due to these things, these two can be differentiated. And this is one of the in chart which I've just borrowed from one of the paper. Whenever we receive the samples, wood logs from from the ports, genuine information on the again their on the their information is available. And again, when it is distributed here, also not much problem. Again, information is available to the after conversion also. But once it goes to the local markets in different parts of the country, here the confusion, adulteration, and misuse will misuse will happen. So now the role of these R&D institutes for authentication and certification will come. So finally, I would like to tell that if a timber is to be used efficiently and economically, the knowledge on timber of the identity of the timber is a must. Though the timber may have superficial resemblance due to color, grain, texture, and other features, they can be differentiated based on their anatomical structure. The importance of timber identification is to check adulteration, misuse, illegal trade, and so. So identification of timber is a specialized subject and available in most of the forest research laboratories of the world. In India, FRI, Dehradun, IWST, IPRIT and KFRI, it is at regional level, are the recognized institutes rendering these services to various user agencies. And our stakeholders are mostly wood industries and then from government agencies like PWD, CPWD, BSNL, Police Department, Railways, Custom Department and Housing Boards and non-government organizations also. Even the Police Department, Customs, Lokayukta, Department of Revenue Intelligence, wherever legal cases are involved. So training offers offered at IWST. I'm just talking only in regard with the field identification. This field identification of important timbers. Then timber identification. This is for the regular sample, and rupees 20,000 is for the legal purpose. And then testing and testing for physical and mechanical properties. So for more queries, if you have any these inquiries, please contact for this number and the email ID. Thank you.